Now, I've just tried clambering up. It's not easy, it's slidey. It's easier to go up than it is to go down. But this is really, really dense bush cacti. He could easily end up falling and being hidden somewhere very close by.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't hear. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Tomorrow, Saturday, which will be day 13 of the search for Jay Slater, will be absolutely crucial to finding the 19-year-old. If they don't find him tomorrow or Sunday, this case may actually end up being completely unresolved because probably this will be significantly curtailed, cut back after this weekend. Now, although cops have made an appeal to the public for volunteers, they're not wanting ordinary volunteers, but searchers with local knowledge and specialized skills. According to The Sun, now almost 2 weeks into the search for Jay Slater, Tenerife police have appealed for volunteers to help scour the mountainous terrain on the island where Jay was last known to be. Officials say the huge sweeping search will take place tomorrow in Musca from 9 a.m. Police confirmed they are not looking for general, unexperienced members of the public to join the search. Instead, they are requesting the help of those who are experts in dealing with rocky terrain, as well as professional volunteers such as firefighters. That is once again an indication that the kind of terrain we're dealing with is not for kind of Joe Schmo, right? In this analysis, we're going to look at a news reporter who retraced Jay's steps from the Airbnb. It's really, really fascinating. You heard a little bit of that at the beginning. We're also going to hear from his best friend. And apparently videos come out where his friend actually had an impression of him slipping while walking and kind of laughing while it was happening. And then we're going to also deal with tomorrow's search. How likely is it to be successful? What is the strategy likely going to be? Before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Thank you so much to the couple of thousand of you who have subscribed. If you're enjoying this analysis, please like, share, leave a comment. You can also hit the thanks button. And don't forget the live. I didn't get around to it today, but it'll definitely be tomorrow. Don't forget that. And let's get started. Now, British media seem to be a tad resentful of this move, summoning resources from the public, noting, and not for the first time, that the cops are asking for reinforcements while simultaneously spurning offers of help from their British counterparts. It's kind of understandable that they feel that way. You sort of feel like the British people, the British public, and British law enforcement, want to be involved. They obviously have a stake in the outcome here, are very invested and so on. So that's understandable. Now, I don't have a horse in the race, so I do see both sides of it. On the one hand, why not allow others to participate in the search? Obviously, with expertise, right? And clearly the conditions are challenging and the search area is vast. But the flip side of it is having too many cooks spoiling the broth, so to speak. Probably the cops didn't anticipate the search going on for this long. I don't think anyone did. My own impression is a kind of rivalry. That's also something that is relevant, where the Brits think they are better at the search and investigation, and I see a lot of that in the comments, and maybe they're justified. But you can understand the Spanish don't want to be criticized or shown up on their own turf. Would you want to be? Now, in terms of my own analysis, we now have confirmation from yet another source of Jay slipping on rocks. That has always been on the cards, but it's becoming clearer by the day that this scenario is highly likely.
He was on the phone and he goes, I'm not walking down over on that road. And he's gone over a little bit, like a little, not a big drop, just a little tiny little drop. He's going down there. He goes, I'll ring you back. Because I think someone else was ringing him. And he probably, if you're thinking like me, he would have went back up and started walking around the path again. He wouldn't have gone all that way down there.
So you said that you could see his feet, and he was actually sort of sliding down the hill. Like you could hear the rocks.
Yeah, that's how I knew he went off the road, because you could hear, like, when you walk on gravel or whatever it is, you can, you know what I mean, it's storms.
And there's obviously also confirmation now from somebody else that he went off the road. He actually saw Jay leaving the road. Now, the ITV presenter who retraced Jay's steps, such an important thing to do, go to the fabric, but not just that, walk in his shoes, walk the same route, start from where he started, see the scene the way he saw it. And what happens? Well, the presenter saw just how tempting it might be to go off-road and to take shortcuts where hairpin bends kind of double over one another.
This is the Airbnb where he stayed that night. The bus stop's right next to it, but we know that he left there. He walked along this road. He walked uphill. And you can see how tempting it might be if you're walking along this road. Try and do a shortcut there.
The presenter also located the spot where Jay took the photo, one of his last proofs of life, the one with the cigarette or the joint or whatever it is, from the front door of the Airbnb. Now, the reporter also confirms what we've been saying about temperature, that it's the cold that's more of a danger, not the heat.
But as you can see, it's actually very cold here. The temperature can get very hot during the day, very cold at night. And I hate to say it, but coming up here, I wouldn't hold out much hope if he has gone off the road, sadly.
And that, of course, is another clip from ITV's The Morning. Now, how have people responded in Britain to this research? Well, they're furious. One headline reads, "This Morning's viewers furious as reporter interviews missing Jay Slater's pal." Then another one, "This Morning fans label show desperate as Star interviews Jay Slater's pal in Tenerife." And then there's another one, "Jay Slater's best friend says he heard teens slipping on rocks in final phone conversation." What do you think about that? Meanwhile, Jay's family has been full of praise for a social media sleuth, Paul Arnett, who is in the area searching and sharing his findings on TikTok. I'm not quite sure what's the difference between a social media sleuth and a mainstream media reporter. The way I see it, aren't they both doing their job? Anyway, we saw the same thing happen during the Riley Strain case. Family criticizing the cops, or people in general criticizing the cops while praising TikTokers. Anyway, we will see what happens during tomorrow's, as I say, very crucial search on day 13. I'll also be doing a review of what we know tomorrow as well. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.